Everyone wants to help, but our donations don't always help the way we think it does.
Yeah, and if you ever actually donated your time or money and wondered where it actually went, then this episode is definitely going to be for you.
Because fixing the future doesn't always mean giving more, it's giving smarter.
Yep. Hey, welcome back to your Buy Your Kids a House podcast series. Again, I'm Matt. This is Andrew. And in this area, we do what we call Fix the Future. This is where we look at problems facing ourselves currently and in the future down the road, and what steps we can do to try to help fix those things so we have a better future for ourselves and our families. And this, we're going to kind of create a little even mini sub-series within that where we look at charities. I know a lot of times you look at what charities we can donate our time or money or resources to, but trying to figure out what actually benefits from that.
No, exactly. And today we're going to be starting with something that in theory most people are all about, and that's donating either their time, their money, their resources. But we want to look into what are you donating to, and is that money actually doing what you're being told it is? Is it going to the right places and being used for the right things?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and start diving in what our framework is going to look like for this and what criteria we're going to look at to see the benchmarks and what actually charities and everything will have the biggest impact for us locally and nationally.
All right, let's take a look. All right, so first we're going to be talking about the good intent problem. And this can be uncomfortable because even though we have good intentions, it doesn't automatically lead to good outcomes.
Yeah, and a lot of these charities, are built on a solid foundation of a message of what they're wanting to do. But a lot of times, everything they fall short of reaching those goals, and we need to help identify which charities, unfortunately, aren't meeting the expectations that we have for the outcome.
Yeah, and a lot of people hear that and they'll usually just shut down and sometimes say, well, at least I'm giving anyway. But where is that money actually going? What are you actually giving to?
Yeah. So again, we're going to look into which charities maybe have, unfortunately, a little bit of the bloated salaries for those that are working at the top. Maybe there's some wasted inefficiencies in the process, or they're not even meeting the expectations of the outcome, and things are too tied up in the process of actually executing what it is you're trying to do. And instead of a lot of times where people say well, I'm giving anyways, or maybe they look at, well, maybe I'm not going to give because why give money if it's not going to do anything. We're going to look at where we can streamline and maximize those dollars so we can actually make the impact that we want to make and help fix the future.
Absolutely. So let's start looking at where the money goes.
Yeah. So now we're going to kind of go over a little bit where donation dollars can go wrong, and we definitely see a lot of the same common issues over and over again.
Right, and high administrative overhead is one of the big issues.
Yeah, so there's also another one which is really big, is also lack of transparency, because a lot of times if the charity isn't showing you where the donation dollars are going, good or bad, that's definitely a red flag, because probably means they're hiding something, whether it's inefficiencies or spoilage or waste, or the money not actually is maybe going to the pockets of the people at the top. So having that lack of transparency is a big red flag.
Oh no, that is a huge one. Also, you see that a lot in these large scale donations or charities as well. And that's another issue, is when you have these large companies that are doing it, a lot of that money is going to advertisements and different things that are promoting them, and not necessarily the charitable work that they do. They're just focusing on how they can maximize with the money that's donated.
Yeah. And we're not saying that all large charities are bad. We're just saying that we need to look at it from the aspect of their waste and cost. Because again, if they're having to pay for those advertisements, or there's a lot more administrators within the structure of it, then that just means less of your actual dollar that you donate is actually going to the cause you want to have. And there could be a lot of local ones maybe that are doing the same cause, and the higher percentage of that dollar is reached towards that goal. So we're just going to, over time, look and compare and see, and maybe hopefully some of those big national ones will start taking notice of this and streamline their operation, so that more of the actual money being donated goes to the cause, rather than it going to advertising on big scale and big commercials, and also paying your CEOs and CFOs and things along those lines. Because just because it says not for profit doesn't mean they aren't paying large salaries.
Oh, correct, absolutely. And I think what you just said is looking into also the local charities as well that are doing the same thing, but all of your money is going to that charity, versus if you choose one of these bigger corporations and hopes that all of that money is going there. Most likely not. Like you said, not all of them are that way necessarily, but we're here to find out how to maximize those donations.
Yeah, and so again, as we move forward, we're going to start comparing each one individually and kind of give a little grading scale on that. And we're going to go further into what that grading scale and what we're looking at that criteria going forward.
All right, so let's look at it. All right, so first we're going to talk about, so why do people don't research this themselves more often?
Yeah, and a lot of times when people give, they give because of emotion, whether it's through an advertisement or commercial, or a social media post. I'm sure we've all seen the Sarah McLachlan puppy, in the
Yeah.
arms of an angel one. Like that definitely made me reach for my phone and my wallet and everything, and my wife definitely for sure. But not giving out emotion is not a bad thing and everything, but we still just want to make sure that the cause is important. Or also a lot of times with it, people then won't give because they are hear the bad things. Like they've seen social media posts of like this charity didn't do XYZ, or this charity took the money and ran, and because of it, now you have the opposite emotional reaction of cutting off the financial strings entirely.
Right. And that's why it's important to go ahead and do the research yourself and look into these different companies and ones that you feel you are emotionally attached to, because there is nothing wrong with having the emotion in it. You just want to make sure that it's not going to be wasted with your donation time or resources.
Yeah, so we're going to be going through kind of trying to vet these different charities and organizations for both your time and money, and seeing which actually is delivering what they promise on. And from that, we will you'll still be able to have the emotional pull, but like from that, you'll actually have the benefit of knowing that it's actually going to something that actually will deliver on what the promise is.
Exactly.
So now we're going to kind of go into the framework of what we're going to look at, the different criteria from that of how we're going to rank these.
All
So,
right.
yeah.
So instead of just complaining about the problem, we want to set up a framework that we can all use. We're going to be doing a scale of 1 to 10 and finding out what our ratings are. This is new for us as well, and you'll be finding it out with us as we go along. But we're going to start rating the different charities, and especially the popular ones versus more local ones as well.
Yeah, so again, we're going to do this 10-point scale for each of our categories. We're going to have 4 categories we're going to go through. And then from that grade of 0 to 40, we're going to be able to see where did they rank at. And then you can actually see, hopefully, where your dollars and time and everything actually benefit from. And the first area is going to be, to me, the most important is transparency.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know where the money's going, then you don't know where the benefits actually outcoming. And right there, it's already kind of a failing grade in that sense. But we want to see, are they posting their financial reports? Are they posting the outcome of what they have actually accomplished? Are they posting their goals and everything for the future of where your money when you're donating to will actually be actually used? And having that transparency is key, because without that knowledge, how can you even begin to grade them on a 0 to 10 scale just from that portion to even get to that 40-point grade that we're hoping to get to?
The second is the percentage to the cause. We want to look at how much of our dollar is going to the mission. A lot of these companies, they're only giving pennies on the dollar of donations, and we want to look at, is there different ones that give more out of your donation or keep more?
Yeah. And then the third is going to be the real world impact, because again, if you're giving the money and it's not going to actually do something, then what's the point in the process? Is it actually fixing the housing problem, homeless crisis, world hunger, things along those lines? We want to make sure that the money actually is creating an actual impact to the problem, not just nice stories that they're creating along the way.
No, exactly. And the last thing we want to look at is going to be the local versus national companies for these charitable donations. Because a lot of times, like we kind of touched on before, the local ones will give more of your donation, if not all of your donation, to the cause and the things that they are supporting and building. Versus these bigger companies, it's either you go into advertisement or people on the board. You got to pay salaries and stuff, and we understand that. But at the same time, if we're giving something, especially if you have that emotional attachment to it, you want to be able to believe in your money going to the right places.
Yeah. So again, off that 40-point scale, when you start seeing scores of 30, 35, close to 40, hopefully, you'll see and know with confidence that your money and time can be donated to an actual cause that actually makes that impact. And if it's 20 and below, then maybe we can start to see maybe this isn't a charity that I should put my efforts into. And that's what we're going to hopefully address. And also maybe some of these charities will then be able to take a look at themselves and realize like, oh wait, charity A and charity B are going for the same thing, but I have a grade of 20 or below, and this one has a grade of 35, then maybe what do I need to change to be on par with that other charity? So hopefully those are other things, because I do believe that a lot of these charities have the nice intent of what they want to do. It's just maybe they've lost their vision along the way, or got too big, and what can be done to help fix that and everything. So hopefully that 40-point scale will help give that exact transparency of knowing what it is of what you should be donating to.
Exactly.
Yeah, so one of the things also we want to explore now is that money isn't the only way to give.
Yeah, and donating your time and skills that you might have create more of a value sometimes than just writing a check.
Yeah, especially at the local level, where that time and involvement can actually make a bigger impact. Whether it's donating time to your local soup kitchen, or helping build a house for Habitat for Humanity, or as you mentioned, any other skills. Like a lot of times, even if you're like a CPA, you could donate your time to help do tax preparation for those that maybe don't understand how the heck to get through the tax code and everything and don't have the money to pay a fancy CPA and everything. So there's lots of ways to donate those skills on a on a local level to make that
Mhm.
impact.
Yeah, and that's something we don't talk about enough is the strategic and volunteering. If you can't have that amount of money to donate, then time and skills is just as important.
Yeah, and then again, even if you have the money to donate, volunteering still is a major impact. It helps. I feel like it also helps build character. It's a great way also to do family bonding with your kids and
Yeah.
friends and everything. I have a local charity called Clean the World that I'm a big fan of, and I've gone a lot of times helping sort the soap and things they have left over from hotel use because it helps out people that don't have the ability to get cleanly products and everything to help especially in third world countries and everything, because
Yeah.
washing your hands definitely helps limit the spread of disease and everything. So,
Absolutely.
things along those lines, donating that time can make a bigger impact, especially at the local level, than just writing a check a lot of times. So,
No, exactly. It's huge.
but again, we'll still also explore is donating that time, does it still make the impact that we want it to?
Mhm.
Because again, a lot of the charities that you donate your time to still take money, and is the money being used wisely? But at least a lot of times when you donate your time, you're seeing a direct impact, which is
Mhm.
definitely can help out in that 40-point scale, because it's not just writing a check and hoping the money goes where it wants to go. If you're donating your time in a soup kitchen or help build a house, at the end of the day, the house is at least a little closer to being
Yeah.
built. At
Yeah.
least you helped see a couple homeless people or
Mhm.
people in need, like get food, or you actually saw them get clothing and things. If you're a hairstylist, maybe help them get a haircut and things. Help them
Yeah.
get benefited, to get out and get a job. Potentially help get on the better track for life. So you see that impact directly and more
Mhm.
efficiently than you would maybe just by writing a check.
Well, right, and this is where the emotional impact comes in too, because these things that you have emotional ties to in some of these different charities, if you're physically there donating your time and like anything you have to offer, you're physically seeing that fulfillment the day of. It's
Yeah,
not just like writing a check and then just one day flipping through and be like, oh, that charity did something great.
yeah.
But it definitely you can see the immediate impact that you're making.
Yeah, and also a lot of times if you're donating your time, odds are you're also meeting the people that are running the different
Mhm.
charities. Even if they're just at the local level running it, you can still meet those people and actually get to know them on a personal level. And you can kind of do your own personal self vetting. Like, is
Mhm.
this person actually, a good person running for a good cause? And that can be a big thing because, not just from the financial side of
Mhm.
it, but also looking at like, if the person's a jerk, maybe I don't want to volunteer for that
Yeah.
organization or give them money in the future. But
Right.
getting to know them and realize like, wow, they are very passionate about this, or
Mhm.
have a big mission they're trying to do, and you then want to follow them, help them out more to help them reach their goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So again, time just as important, if not more important, a lot of times than money, and at least again help a more streamlined way of knowing if it's making a change or not. So
All right. Well, let's move on to the next section.
yeah. So to kind of pull everything back together again, where this fits into buy your kids a house philosophy, this directly ties into it because it's about setting up all of us for a better future, and that includes fixing the future.
No, exactly. Because fixing the future isn't just about your household, it's about the system your kids grow up in that community.
Yeah. So again, we're trying to build that community together, build a stronger future, help us all out, and creating those, fixing those problems down the road so that we all have a better future to look forward to.
Yeah. And it's just like investing, we're not doing it for that immediate gratitude. We're doing it to help build those communities up and have a long lasting environment for our kids to grow up in that's positive and helpful.
Yeah. And again, if we can solve some of these problems along the way, then even better, and at least make an impact towards some of those problems and help make things easier on people in need, people that need a little help, a little handout, a little pick me up, people facing bigger struggles. I mean, as I'm wearing a Kick Kids Cancer shirt, like there's a lot that has to go to medical research charities to help out. Like where can we help to fix those things to help eliminate some of those problems down the road
Mhm.
so the families don't have to face these major problems. So again, that's all part of the Value Kids House for Future, because we're trying to get to that point where we all have a much brighter future.
Yeah, and we don't want it just for ourselves either. We want it for all of you as well. We want to be able to see those communities build and come closer together and become stronger to have that positive environment.
So that's what we're going to try to do to get to there. And I think again along that path, again, if there's any charities you recommend that we look into, please put those in the comments below, because again, I have a list of ideas where we're going to start with this process,
Yeah.
but there are so many out there, and I don't want to miss any. If there's something you're passionate about, maybe if you're a leader of a local charity and everything,
Yeah.
especially in the Orlando area, because a local charity in Iowa might be a little tough for us to get
Yeah.
to. I'm not saying we won't hear you out, but if you're in the Central Florida area and would like us to come, donate our time, we're more than happy to come
Yeah.
set things up to help out, bring light and attention to your charity. Please put that in a comment, or if you know someone, help put us in contact with them, because again, we're going to try to start exploring these, one by one. We're going to go through these different charities locally, nationally, and everything, and trying to help figure out what path it is we need to get to the point of fixing this and helping everything out. So, again, put those in the comments, like, share, subscribe, share it around, because if we can help pull our community of dollars together to help these charities out, or help donate our time as well, then that's gonna be a great outcome, I think, of this.
Absolutely. And like you said before, it helps building character as well and getting the family involved. What a great way to come together to spend time as a family while building that character for everyone, not even just the kids.
Well, again, and especially being a parent with kids and everything, it's definitely can be a humbling experience and everything when you're, a lot of times your kids don't realize how spoiled and privileged they are. I keep trying to tell my kids all the time, like, you don't realize how lucky you have it being in, Central Florida with all this at your fingertips. And, they don't go to bed hungry. And there's a lot of kids that do. They have a roof over their head. There's a lot of kids that don't. There's a lot of times where your mom and dad are struggling to find a job and everything. There's a lot of times also where they hit those medical needs, as I mentioned, the cancer and everything. Like they don't see a day to day how lucky they are, and taking them to see and help out and everything, that process could definitely help to open their eyes of how fortunate they are and how we can give back to that.
No, absolutely. And like you said, though, helping us build this community as well. So like, comment, share, subscribe, put in the comments of, like you said, your favorite charities, ones that we don't even know about, the local ones, the bigger ones. We're going to be looking at a lot of different ones and starting this rating system as well to be able to see which one benefits your time, skills, and money the most.
Absolutely. And if you have unique skills, I briefly mentioned a little about CPA, hairstylist, things along those lines. Please put those in the comments and everything, because maybe there's a lot of skills I'm sure that I'm not even thinking of at the moment.
Oh yeah,
that charities and everything could definitely be in need. I'll be carpenters, electricians, things along those lines. Like, so if there's something in there, do you want to help out? We can then help you get in contact with a charity that can use your skills and help out in that process too.
Absolutely.
So until next episode, thank you for joining us on this journey, and we look forward to how the future has to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Till next time.